that is called the Reminiscence bump, because it's this like sudden, like I've got a lot of things to say from that era, and then I don't know, now I don't have much. Now, I don't know if that's totally genetically wired into our brains or if it's sort of a thing that our societies impose on us. Like,
well, I also wonder whether it's something that's like physically going on with your brain, right? You have the plasticity of your brain, which I mean, never goes away, but it decreases with age. I mean, when you're experiencing things and remember them, you are like quite literally rewiring your brain.
Yeah, exactly. You are. And we know that the biology of a brain is still changing up until like 25. I mean, it's always changing.
Sure.
But it doesn't really reach
maturity almost.
A kind of maturity until the 20s.
Yeah.
So I'm just not ready to say that I think that it's a genetic thing that you'll find in all human societies, because we are particularly prejudiced against old people. Which
isn't true around the world.
Which isn't true around the world. But I think it's also possible that just once people to reach 40, they just think, I'm not supposed to live a life that creates all these memories and stories to tell, because that's what you do when you're young. We need to be careful about exactly what conclusion we draw there.
I also wonder, though, I mean, I think there is another aspect to this too, which is about novelty and about how our brains are like constantly searching for differences, right? I mean, we're like change detectors effectively. And the thing is that when you've had, when your life experiences are limited, and you sort of have a new memory, a new experience, it's like it feels very fresh. It feels valuable and important for your brain to remember it. But as you get a bit older, I mean, I've already been to this club 1,000 times before.
You've been around the block a few times. This is less surprising. You know what? Yeah, I like that too, because that reminds me of consensus bias. And it is our tendency to think that other people think the way we do. It is most predominant with old people. It is the least predominant with young people. Like college students will say, here's what I believe. Do I think that's a common belief? Probably not. But once you're 60, you think this is how it is. Yeah, and that's what everyone thinks. Because you have experienced more of life. You've been young, you've been old. You've been in college, you've been a graduate. You've had a job, you've been fired. You know people who have lost their jobs. You feel like you can make a better estimation of what's common and what's not. You can't, as it turns out, but you feel like you can. So all of these psychological things, I think, conspire to make us prefer the music that our brains matured to, that happened while our brains were maturing, and then makes us think that things in the past were better and that everyone should agree on it.
But then also, I guess there's something here about those songs that you grew up to and had your most exciting experiences to, because they were the new experiences, right? You know, your first kiss, your first car, your first, I don't know, like time in a club, right? All of those things will have had a soundtrack to them that really is physically etched into your brain.
That's right. And so, like, for me, I recently watched this little musical mashup of like breakthrough artists from 1980 to today. And it was a really great sort of history of what was the most popular thing. And when it hit that period of time when I was 9 to 10 years old, the way the songs made me feel shifted so dramatically. Instead of just being a really great song, it became a song that represented this feeling of like my eyes getting wider, entering the world and listening to the radio and to popular music and being part of the world. Like, not an adult, but I felt like I was approaching adulthood. What is this? It was so different. So Alanis Morissette's Ironic, and I'm bringing her up a lot. I remember being in 5th grade and we had a talent show and a couple of girls sang Ironic. And I was like, what is this song? And I went home and I turned on MTV, which I had never watched before. And the music video was playing. And I'm like, I'm peeking through the crack of childhood into the real world. And that kind of experience, of course, it imprints onto my mind forever. And it's hard for me to ever communicate that feeling to someone who might not like the song, because they didn't have the same experience with it.
Or think that the lyrics of it are nonsense.